Hi everyone. Again, to continue a little bit more about twin flame signs. So far, I have talked about how I got a little bit of a chakra activation when I was just looking online at some online posts about my twin flame. And then what happened was that I was having some dark night of the soul moments where things that were ordinarily something easier to do, things like my professional work that I had dedicated almost 13 to 15 years of my life towards, things like studying, like normal degree program studies, these kind of things started slowly wearing off from my life. And I started getting more and more interested and pushed towards learning about the twin flame journey. And I started reading a lot for the last at least 4 or 5 years. I think I have been reading a lot about either twin flames or I've been reading stories and things about spirituality, doing different sorts of meditations over my entire adult life. When I was even living in US, when I was experiencing really difficulties in my relationships, I was doing the same thing. I was trying to meditate, trying to lead a healthy life, exercise, and focus on my physical health and mental health. So I was doing it overall, but then now in the last couple of years, ever since I came back to India, I've also started focusing on my spiritual health. So, apart from these signs, so when you either begin the twin flame journey or while living your life, every time, every choice we make, I think that is what ends up determining if someone is going to start their twin flame journey or is going to be pushed towards meeting their twin flame. So, because I rejected all many of the societal paradigms that are in place, I think that was one of the reasons why I was able to meet my twin flame. So, one path that is related to the twin flame journey, I feel, is that every twin flame has come here for some soul purpose, and each individual twin flame's soul purpose will be different. So, for me, the soul purpose aspect, which I think I have lived my entire adult life, has been one aspect has been that I wanted to have good sexual relationship or a good partnership only with those people who were equally invested in that relationship. And if that equal investment, or if I couldn't feel that there was a balance in the relationship, I couldn't manage to be in those relationships long term. There was always some kind of conflict that was happening to me. So, this also, I think, is part of the twin flame path sometimes for certain couples. So, maybe if you are experiencing really difficult relationship paradigms with certain people in your life, be it in your personal life, be it in your significant other relationship, either even if you're married or unmarried, if you're having a lot of crisis and a lot of difference of opinion, a lot of variability and soul crisis going on within you, then I believe that it's time for people to start working on understanding their own heart, understanding their own soul, understanding their own life path. So that is one aspect that I faced for many years of my adult life. I actually didn't, when I was having I had like two boyfriends while I was in US, and then after that I had a ex-husband as well. So in all these three relationships, I never consummated the relationship with these people. We did some sexual things, but sexually I was very adamant that I will only have sexual intercourse with someone with whom I find this mind body soul connection. With my first boyfriend, there was a body connection, heart connection as well, and I was like deeply attached with him. But I always felt he was just interested more towards the sexual aspects and sexual dynamics, and that used to be very troublesome for me because at that time in my early 20s, I somehow was not so much interested in the sexual aspects of the relationship. I wanted first an emotional security and emotional bond. And I think part of being a demisexual, that is what I read is the definition of a demisexual, that they have to have emotional attachment to someone. And I was deeply attached to him, but I could see that he was not deeply emotionally attached to me, not in a way in which I was expecting it. And because I couldn't see that deep emotional attachment from his side, and because I felt that it was easier for him to leave me all the time, it was just something that was like quite troublesome for me. And because it was leading to that kind of a imbalance within myself, that every time we are interacting, our relationship mainly just revolved around us going like maybe once or twice a month for some movie. That too, we would, because we were both poor graduate students, we would just go for the simple dollar movies. We would hardly spend like $5 in the movie theater, $5 eating some pizza or Chinese food, and then come back home. So I was like the cheapest date possible for this person. And most of the time, it is not even that he was paying for it. Most of the time, I ended up paying for these dates. Or when he would come home, also I was the one who was paying most of the time for everything. So financially, I've never been dependent on any guy that way. Feel, and because of that, one thing is there, that because ever since I started working and living in US, I've been financially dependent on myself only for all my finances, and for anything else, and occasionally only. I have been grateful for whenever the ex-boyfriends or boyfriends have helped me for with something in my life, but most of the time I've just let it by myself, and that was, I think, a good independent living experience for me. um, but it was a painful experience as well. And the last couple of times, as I've been posting some videos, I get emotional in between the videos. And I'll tell you this emotional response that is coming up inside my heart and soul right now is not really my pain, in the way that I have resolved that pain of living abroad, being by myself, and living independently long time back. But my twin flame hasn't resolved this issue. So, as a result of this, it is his emotions that I end up feeling. So, this is also a part of the twin flame journey, that you can feel each other's emotions even though you're not in touch with each other. He is not right now physically present in my life. I have met him only this one time 3-4 years back. And before that, also, he says that we've met in childhood days. I can't confirm or deny that I have met him, because it's a blurry memory. So, essentially, for me, he is someone I met only once, or maybe I might have met him a handful of times. But despite that, the connection is so deep, we can feel each other's emotions. It has also happened that it's not just that I feel his sadness, I also feel his happiness sometimes. Like one time, it so happened that something was going on in his life, and the universe indicated to me what happy thing could have been happening with him. And because of that experience, I was feeling the joy in my soul, even though in my life I had nothing exceptionally great going on that day. And I was just feeling outrageously happy at that time. So, twin flames experience these emotions. So that's why many people on earth, and it's not just happiness or sadness, you could even feel your twin flames anger, you could even feel their hurt and pain, you can feel different emotions of theirs depending on how open your heart chakra is to receiving their emotions, how open they are in letting you coexist with them while they are experiencing something. Because now, as soon as I have started mentioning this, somehow he controlled his emotions. And see, I'm smiling, I'm not sad about whatever happened with me in the last 20 years of my adult life. So this is how it goes. This is one twin flame sign. You will feel each other telepathically. You will feel each other's pain telepathically. In fact, when I found out about him, I asked the universe. I was skeptical still whether he's really my twin flame, but I felt like going and meeting him one time. So I found out from someone where he was working, and I went there to meet him. There was a very brief meeting. I met him as a casual stranger only. But I think later on figured out, almost like 2 years later, I think I figured out that he might have been aware that that day he was going to meet his twin flame or something. I am not 100% sure what was going on that day. But, and I also found out, so what happened that day, I met him casually and left. And then after I left, when I came back home, the universe had put all sorts of romantic songs in my YouTube feed. And I wasn't really watching romantic songs in general. I wasn't even watching any songs in general in my YouTube. I used to only occasionally watch meditation videos, or occasionally watch some Hindi TV shows that I used to like. Sometimes I would watch some of their interviews. So those are the only things I used to watch. I hadn't even been watching any Hindi movies also on my phone. So that's why getting all these romantic Hindi movie songs on my phone was a strange thing. I wasn't watching movies, I wasn't watching songs, and still all these songs started popping up into my YouTube feed. And so this is also one way of the universe trying to connect people to their twin flames, I believe. And when this song Lal Ishq from Ram Leela movie came up, I was watching that movie. Watching that song, and these romantic songs started popping up in my feed actually a little bit before I had met my twin flame. But they started like suddenly, my whole feed was bombarded with those songs. Earlier, like a month before I met him, went to meet him, I used to get like maybe one or two songs on my phone. But so that was like the universe trying to wake me up slightly into this romantic prospect that might appear in my life. And then what happened was, after, as soon as I met him, my feed just got bombarded with these songs. And when I listened to the Lal Ishq song, there is a part where it says Tera naam ishq, mera naam ishq. When Tera word was coming, Tera means yours, right? Your name is love. So when the line was your name is love, his, instead of his face flashing, my face was flashing. And when it said Mera naam ishq, means my name is love, instead of my face flashing in front of me, his face was flashing. So what was happening essentially was that the universe was saying, like trying to wake me up to this truth that yes, he is your twin flame, and that's why only you both are the same soul, and that's why he is you and you are him. And that kept happening. Like 2-3 times I listened to this song, and this would happen to me initially. And the universe only needs to bombard people with such songs, such messages. Some twin flames have said that they get bombarded with dreams about their twin flame. I don't know if I have dreamt about him, in the sense, many years back I used to have certain dreams, but I don't know necessarily whether they were just related to my twin flame or they were related to different other people as well. I'm not sure. But I have had lucid dreams in the past, many years back. In the recent times, very rarely have I lucidly dreamed anything. And most of my lucid dream memories are actually almost from like 20 years back or 10 years back possibly. But despite that, I don't know whether the dreams I had were about him. I can't like 100% confirm or deny, because those dreams are very blurry. Some aspects of the dreams are blurry and some aspects are very clear. And also those dreams were also related to some of those dreams that I had in the past. I also found that I have something called maybe clairvoyance or something, because some of those dreams that I saw that are unrelated to him, like some dreams were like about some children. I dreamt about some torture happening to certain children, and those either torture or some point of some distress was going to happen to them possibly, is what I dreamt. And what happened was I saw that for a few of those children, they're actually related to people I know. And I don't even know how to tell them that, you know what, this say, picture of your child I had seen in my dream like 30 years back or 20 years back or something. And other than the children that I know, there are also children I don't know. About them also I have dreamt. Like one time I dreamt of a kid getting kidnapped in a stream, like not stream, lake or pond like area. And while the kid was getting kidnapped and she's shouting like, don't take me, don't take me, someone comes there and who's like, this was like a little bit of a Avengers type dream. Like someone like a Hulk like personality comes and he starts smashing some dustbin like things. Okay, and in the dream they looked like they were concrete structures, and this person was smashing them like as if they are like metal or paper structures that easily got crumpled up. So that's why I said Hulk like person was crushing them. And I remember telling this to my aunt that I dreamt this. And this dream again was almost maybe 30 years old dream, but the place where this has happened, when I went there recently, 5 years back or so. And when I went to that place, it had exactly that same kind of, I mean, I went to a place, I will say, I cannot say I went exactly to the place of my dreams, but there was this place which looked exactly like the place of my dreams. And in that place there were some rectangular, either like smoking dispensing place, like where you can like put down your cigarette ends, because they had like sand in them. And in the dream I thought these were trash cans, but I think instead of trash cans, these are just places where people can put off their cigarette butts. And because this was in a state where people smoke a lot, so in that place, these concrete structures had been smashed exactly the way I had seen in my dream. So that was something very strange and amazing also to me, that I had this dream so many years back. And this structure, if that dream happened when I was a kid, how come these structures are still like that? So that means I must have dreamt something from the future in the past or something like that. I don't exactly know what was going on there. Anyways, then also, after asking for signs, they had given me the signs, but I was still sometimes in denial because I couldn't accept that this person could be my twin flame, because I couldn't see where our paths could merge. Based on what I found out about him, I thought our paths practically would be difficult to merge. And so, but at that time, again the universe started, like whatever sign I had asked the universe, like if I had said show me a pink elephant 3 days in a row, so the universe started showing me a pink elephant many a times, just to convince me this is a person. Or I would see certain things where I would hear his name or some association I had made with him, that name would pop up, or something or the other, something very familiar with him would pop up in my existence, just to remind me of him. And when I finally got convinced, okay, yes, he is my twin flame, then those signs went away. Then it went into a calmer phase. And then what happened was, because I got convinced that he is my twin flame, and also what happened was, after I finally got convinced, I started having like these conversations with him, because somehow the universe told me that, showed me that he can hear me. Like there is something called Clair audience, where you have a sixth sense of hearing someone else. So I was shown that he can hear me, and because I was shown that he can hear me, I started talking to him, because I was like, I can't hear him, I can't see him, I don't have those clear abilities. But if he is able to hear me, then let's have a one sided conversation. So I had a lot of one sided conversations with him. And the moment I started having these one sided conversations, oh my God, I felt such intense pain in my heart. That pain wouldn't just go away, because I think he might have known about me or something. I don't know what was it. But his intense pain just kept coming and coming and coming every day, almost every night actually. In the night time before going to bed, I would converse with him and I would feel this pain. And as I was feeling this pain, at that time I was doing Reiki healing. So I would turn on some Reiki videos for healing the pain, healing emotional trauma, healing hurt. And I kept healing him during the night time. I don't know whether he felt it, but I felt that there was some relief from the pain. And I knew that pain wasn't mine because, again, by then, somehow, whatever had transpired with me, with my past relationships, everything had led me to be okay with certain heartaches, okay with certain things. I think I had resolved the heartaches related to relationships by then. And because I had sorted and resolved the attitude towards relationships, to me, the separation was also because it was a new journey. For me, it was a new journey. So, for me, I was in the magical phase of the journey where I was in the magical discovery phase where, this person it felt very magical to me that there's this person who's meant to be my twin flame, who can understand me, or with whom I am meant to do something in life, because that is what God was showing me. Like I was getting videos about different kinds of twin flame couples, and I saw I wasn't even interested in the British royal wedding or anything. And in fact, Prince Harry was never my favorite in any way, because one time I had seen some video of his dressed up as a Nazi. I think he was just being facetious. But even though he was maybe just mocking certain things because he had dressed up for Halloween like that. But at that time, I had judged him when I had seen that image of his. And after that, anyways, I don't understand the craze for royal weddings and things like that. And because I don't understand it, I never even watched it. But some interviews of Harry and Meghan came up. Then, before their wedding, whatever interviews they did, one or two interviews came up on my feed, and I watched them. And then I saw the wedding also, and the wedding, the exact clip that the universe wanted me to see, I saw, in which, like, how he's holding her hand and assuring her and things like that. That aspect I found very beautiful. And I also was like very much convinced, like the bishop who gave their ceremony speech, that the bishop was convinced that this was a divine couple and how they're meant for each other, kind of a feeling that the bishop got. I also kind of got that same feeling when I saw their wedding, and I understood why, like, these two people are twin flames. Actually, from the interviews, I gauged that they too had telepathy between them. They didn't openly state it, but I know they have telepathy. So twin flame couples can have telepathy also, which I also started having with my twin flame in the last few years. And actually, the telepathy was there apparently even before hand, but I was just not aware of that telepathy. He was apparently, what I'm gauging, like, slowly in recent times, is that he could have actually been awakened to this whole journey long before I was awakened. But even though he was awakened to the journey long before I was awakened, and it took me time to wake up. And also in our relationship, I think when I was reading, like watching videos, like online, you will see there are tarot readers, astrologers, and twin flame couples who talk about the divine masculine and divine feminine energy. So what I learned was, in our relationship, whenever I was reading and listening to those messages, I felt I had partly resonated with the divine masculine aspects and partly resonated with the divine feminine aspects. And then the more I kept learning and learning, what I understood from the twin flame journey is this: that every twin flame counterpart has some masculine energy within them and has some feminine energy within them. If you look at the Chinese yin yang symbol, you will see in the black portion of the design there is a white dot, and in the white portion of the design there is a black dot. That represents is essentially actually that the energy that is the masculine energy has a little bit of feminine energy inside them. Similarly, the energy that is primarily the feminine energy has a little bit of masculine energy in them. And in the yin yang symbol, the dot is very small, but this is an ancient symbol. So, what used to be true about masculine and feminine energy maybe centuries back, I feel has shifted now, because the earth is shifting into a new way of living. So I think now it's time for the masculine and feminine energies to be balanced. And that's why when you look at the symbolisms and numbers and signs about twin flames, you will see 1111 is a sign of twin flames. Why is 1111 a sign of twin flame? It is because one masculine energy and one feminine energy has to become balanced within a human being, and their divine counterpart also will have one masculine energy, one feminine energy, balance. And then when one masculine, one feminine and balanced energy of one twin flame counterpart meets the one masculine and one feminine energy of the other counterpart, then it makes 1111. Okay, so this is how I have understood the journey, that we all have divine masculine and feminine energies within us. We have to just awaken those energies, develop those energies in order to become joined as a divine counterpart together to do whatever soul mission and soul purpose we have to do together. Okay, and so that's why sometimes when people awaken to the journey, if they haven't awakened to their masculine and feminine energies, if they haven't accepted their masculine and feminine energies, if they haven't accepted their light and dark aspects of their personality, those things are necessary for everyone to become more and more aligned and balanced with their soul purpose and with their universal purpose, because every person's dark and light qualities also have some benefit and flaws associated with them. So when someone has some negative qualities, where maybe if someone has angry temperament, which is one of my problems. So if I do feel angry about some things, there is a real need for me to feel angry about certain things. I don't always feel angry, but if I am angry and I have had an outburst with anyone in my relationships or anyone in my home or something, it just means there's something that I needed to address which I failed to address with them. So if I am able to understand that aspect of myself, and I understand that okay, anger is not necessarily the problem, so suppressing anger is also not an issue, but expressing anger in a meaningful manner is what I have to learn in order to balance this dark aspect of my personality. Same way, if someone has a problem with anxiety, I think my twin flame has an anxiety problem. I also sometimes have an anxiety problem. It's not just his problem. So, and anger is also, I know both of us have that problem. So, but how it gets expressed in my body versus his body is going to be different. How it gets expressed in my life versus his life is going to be different. Same way with the anxiety, how I express it, how he expresses it might be different. But with anxiety too, how you express it, how you manage to express it in a meaningful manner is important, because anxiety also plays a role. Anger, anxiety, any of our darker emotions, they are just indicators by the universe sent within our soul in order for us to understand that either what we are doing, how we are living our life, how our life is turning out to be, what choices we make in our life, what paths we take in our life. If these things are somehow not in alignment with our deeper soul needs, then we feel these emotions, and these emotions arise in us because we are feeling something that is out of alignment within us. Now, either it is something which is out it, and there is a saying, as within, so without, as above, so below. So what it means is, like, if inside of us we are misaligned, if inside of us we haven't understood ourselves deeply, if inside of us we aren't balancing our masculine, feminine energies, our darker and lighter aspects, then in the outside world also similar things will get reflected back to us. And if we are unable to express our thoughts and emotions in a authentic manner with everyone, or in a manner in which it's comfortable for us to coexist with another human being, that's when also clashes and these negative darker emotions can arise within us. And these are the things of the spiritual path we have to start learning, deciphering, understanding in order for us to become balanced divine masculine feminine energies. And the more we go towards balancing ourselves, the more we go towards understanding our journey and our life issues and our life path, slowly whatever happened in the past will definitely influence your present and future. But how it defines your present and future depends on how balanced you made yourself based on your past experiences, which might have been good or bad. So, this is how a twin flame journey shapes up for people. And if you want to know more about what I'm talking, email me, write a comment below, and we can have further discussions on these topics. Take care. Bye.